Alright, I wanted to give a video, you guys, to the 6-3 homework. I know it was the evens. I'm going to go through and do all of them just for you guys, but we're going to run through this. So, 6-3 homework. Uh, number 18. And I'll do the evens first and go back into the odds just to make it easier for you guys. And, of course, we will focus because that's always fun. There we go. Alright, so first triangle. It was more than one letter, so we got to do one at a time. But we still have the altitude drawn to the hypotenuse, so we're going to do our three triangles. So our first one, which looks like the triangle that's there, we have the medium-sized guy going over here, and then we have the little mini-me going on after that. So in the really big triangle, we have this side over here, which is 12. That's the bottom. Okay, we have the X, which represents the long leg. And keep in mind, this hypotenuse cuts this into a short leg and a long leg. So in the triangle on the right, we have a hypotenuse, which is the medium-sized triangle of X. We have a long leg of 9 and a short leg of Y. All right. Why did I put LL here? That should be X. I don't know why I did that. That's weird. And then in the small triangle, we have a short leg of 3 and a long leg of Y. Okay, so we can see we have two things going on. We have this set of sides here with the X's, you can see it, and then we have this set of sides here with the Y's, if you can see it, okay? So let's do the X's first. Starting at the top, I can do X on the top here, coming down on this side it's 9, so X over 9, and then it's 12 over X. So we get X squared, which is X times X. And then 9 times 12, which is 108. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. I'm going to get X is equal to the square root of 108. And then if we did the menu factor 3 deal, you can do your little factor tree if you want, however you want to go about doing that. But it's going to be 2 squared and then 3 cubed. So X is equal to 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. We have our sets of 2's and 3's. So we're going to get a 2 to come out. X is going to equal a 2, a 3, and a radical 3 left over, which is 6 radical 3. Okay, on to the y's. Now in the y's we talked about before, I have these sets of sides. So I have y over 3, okay, is equal to 9 over y. Cross multiply, we're going to get y squared is equal to 27. Take our square roots. Y is going to equal 3 3's inside. Take a set of 3's out, and I get 3 radical 3 for that guy. All right. Take a look at number 20. We have the same concept here, even though we have multiple x's and y's. We're going to draw 3 triangles out, so it's going down this way, big, medium, small. All right, so we have, cutting this down, we have a short leg and a long leg, and then the really big triangle, right? We have this whole side here, which is 25. So that's our hypotenuse. Short leg is x, okay. And the medium triangle on this side, I have a long leg of 21, which is down here, a short leg of y, and then in the small triangle here, I have a short leg of 4. I have a hypotenuse right across of x, and I have a long leg of y. So we have, once again, we're going to go with this guy. We'll leave some extra room here. I have my x's, 25 and x, and right here you can see I have x and 4 paired up, okay? So it's going to be 25 over x is going to equal x over 4. I get x squared is equal to 100. Take the square root, and the square root of 100 is just 10, so we're good to go. Then, if I look at the y's, I have this set paired up. So I have y on this side here over 4. So we'll go top right here from this triangle on the right to the right, and then bottom to the bottom is equal to 21 over y. Cross multiply, I get y squared is equal to 84. I'll take the square root. Y is going to equal to 2 times 2 times 3 times 7. So I take out the set of 2's. I get 2 radical 21. That doesn't break down, and we're good to go. There are answers for 18 and 20. All right, moving down to number 38 here. Same concept. All right, so let's cut these down here. All right, 38. So we want to draw out our 3 triangles for ourselves. So we do that chopped out, stretched out triangle here. We got the big guy. That's a terrible looking guy. Don't ignore that triangle, please. Okay. Medium, medium, and small. So there we go. All right. In the big triangle, we have a hypotenuse of 12. We have a short leg here of x plus 3. All right. In the medium-sized triangle, I don't really have anything. Remember, I actually do. I have a 12 for the whole thing. Take away the small guy. So this is really 12 minus x. Remember, we're cutting it to a short leg over here and a long leg over here. So this side is just 12 minus x. We're not going to use it, but it could come up later on in a different question. Same thing over here. Now in the right triangle, I have a short leg of x. And I have a hypotenuse across the right angle of x plus 3. And so you can see we have our sets of sides. So it's going to be 12, all right, for the bottom, over x plus 3 on the bottom is equal to x plus 3 on the top over here over x. So we'll cross multiply. I get 12 times x, which is 12x. And I'll get x plus 3 times x plus 3. And this is where we distribute. So 12x is equal to, it's x squared. Remember, this is 3x and this is 3x. So that's added together is actually 6x plus 9. We'll move the 12x over. So we'll get 0 is equal to x squared minus 6x plus 9. And then we can do our a times c on the top, b on the bottom. So we get 9 and negative 6. And these two answers are both negative 3. So this is referred to as a double root because the two factors we get are actually the same exact factor. That's the same thing. So when we actually solve this, we're only going to get one answer, right? They're both going to be the same answer. So there's really only one solution, even though there's two roots. It's a double, so it's called a double root. So the x is just equal to 3, and I'm done. Okay? Hopping over here to number 40. Same concept. Draw my 3 triangles. Okay? The right angle is down here. Keep in mind we have right angles there. So in the really big triangle, this side is 18 plus x. That's my hypotenuse. 18 plus x. This short side here is 12. In the medium-sized triangle over here, all I have is an 18. Remember, when we cut this, we cut it into a short leg and a long leg. So the 18 here is the long leg on that triangle. And then the small triangle, we have a short leg of x. And then this hypotenuse here is 12. And so you can see what we're paired up with here. So proportion-wise, we can do like 18 plus x over, let's say 12 is equal to, coming down here, 12 over x. We'll cross multiply again. So I'm really getting x times 18 plus x is equal to 144. And then we're going to distribute. So it's 18x plus x squared is equal to 144. Now I'm going to do two things here. I'm going to take the 144 away from both sides. This doesn't have an x in it, so I can't actually subtract anything here. And I'm going to put it in what's called standard form, which means the exponent should be decreasing. So the first thing is x squared because it's got the biggest exponent. Then the positive 18x is next. It's got the next exponent of 1. And technically this has an x equals 0, x to the 0 power here. So if there isn't anything on it, it always goes last. Minus 144 is equal to 0. And then the question is, what the heck multiplies 144, right? Because if we do our diamond, I want a times c on the top, which is negative 144. And I want 18 on the bottom. If you divide this out, you may find out, like if you do the factors, right? 144, does 1 go into it? Yeah. Does 2 go into it? Yeah, but that doesn't work. Does 3 go into it? Yeah, that doesn't work. Does 4 go into it? Yeah, that doesn't work. and you're going to keep going here, right? And eventually you'll get to like you'll get to 6, and you'll say to yourself, "The 6 go into it," and you'll say, "Yeah, and hey, look at that! I actually get 6 and 24, which add to 18." And if I need a positive, that means the 6 has got to be negative. So if you just go by number, 1 doesn't work, 2 doesn't work. What I mean is it doesn't work. I mean is take this is my just the kind of thing I have on um, my Android phone here, and you can actually use this. This is a graphic calculator, okay? Um, so if you do 144, you can divide it by 2, and it'll tell you, oh, hey, that goes in. 144 divided by 3. Oh, that goes in. 144 divided by, let's say, 5. And here's a decimal, so that doesn't divide in, right? And I'm checking, like 3 and 48, those are the two factors. So 3 goes into it, 48 is the result. That's my factors. So if I do 144, and I divide it by, what did you say, it was 6, right? I get 24, and that's how you can see that it's 18 as we go along here, okay? So just keep that in mind. All right, so now I'm going to do my two factors. So x plus 24 times x minus 6 is equal to 0. I set each one equal to 0. I solve. So x is equal to negative 24, or x is equal to 6. We're going to reject this one, right, because of negative length issues. And so x is equal to 6. Okay? All right, keep going here. Number 19, we have the same type of questions. We'll do these in black just so that we're not overlapping here. 50 and 40 leaves this side to be 10. And same thing, we're looking for x's and y's. So we'll do 3 different size triangles here. So really big triangle. I have 50 for the hypotenuse. I have y over here for the short leg. Remember cutting this into a long leg and a short leg. So in the medium-sized guy, the long leg here is 40. The short leg here is x. I don't have a hypotenuse, so we don't have to label that. And then the really small triangle, short leg is 10, the long leg is x, and the hypotenuse is y. So I'm hoping you're catching on to the fact that we have 50 and y here, and then we have y and 10. So if we do 50 over y, it's y over 10. We can cross multiply, get y squared is equal to 500. Take the square root of both sides. We're going to y is equal to, we'll break that down. So it's really like 5 and 100 essentially, right? So it's 2 squared, 2 times 2, and then 3 5s, 5 times 5 times 5. And then we take our sets of numbers. We have 2 sets. So we have a 2 coming out, a 5 coming out, and a 5 left inside. And that's 10 radical 5 for an answer there, okay? In the second one here, blue down at the bottom, we have 40 and y, and then 40 and x, and then x and 10. So if we do 40 over x, going this way, you can do x over 10. We're going to get x squared is equal to 400. This is a perfect square. So when you take the square root, you're just going to get 20. All right? Once again, there is negative square root there, but we're kind of ignoring that for our question here. Okay, this one's a little tricky because it's really hard to see when this is cut, which is the short versus the long leg. So you really need to pay attention to how the hypotenuse is being cut. Since 9 is bigger than 7, this is actually the long leg, forcing x to be the short leg on this side. Okay, 7 is the short leg in this triangle, and that means that x is actually the long leg on this side. So we're going to draw, okay, when we're doing this, we want to draw our like chopped out right triangles, right? So we'll just pick which. We're going to go like something that looks like this for ourselves, okay? So the other problem is I don't know which side here is actually bigger. I don't know if y is supposed to be the short leg here, and then this is the long leg. There's kind of a problem where we're running into this as well. So So just kind of keep that in mind for ourselves as we work along. And I'm trying to think if there's another way um, to do this on our part. I guess the way to kind of look at it is that the short leg here and the short leg of these triangles is always in the same spot, right? So the short leg, and then this is the short leg of the triangle. So if this is the short leg here, that means that this side should actually be the short leg. So actually, we should have a triangle that looks like this. Okay. So y is actually the long leg, 16 is here, and this is the short leg, and now we can compete all the way around. So if you notice what I'm saying, if the short leg of the triangle here, this is the short piece of the hypotenuse, this is then connected to the short leg of the big right triangle. Short leg of the hypotenuse connected to the short leg here. Short leg of the hypotenuse, that hypotenuse here is the shorter version. So if the longer leg, that's got to be a longer hypotenuse. So that's how I'm deciding, like, this is the short leg, this is the shorter of the two hypotenuses on the side. This is the short leg of the really big triangle. Hopefully it makes it easier. On the test or quiz, they will be drawn a lot longer and easier to see, okay? So we have y and 16 here, and the triangle on this side, we have a short leg of x, okay? We have a long leg of 9 and a hypotenuse of y. And then in the triangle on the right, we have a long leg of x. We have a short leg of 7. And then we can go ahead and find our answers here. And you can see it's going to work out very nicely, right? I have the y's in the 16, the y in the 9. So I can just do y over 16 equals 9 over y. I can cross multiply, get x squared here is going to be equal to, and I believe that's 144. It is, which is a perfect square. We take the square root, we should get y is equal to 12. On the other guy, we have our, x in 9 here, and x in 7. So if we want to do 9 over x, that's going to equal x over 7. We get 63 is equal to x squared. Take the square root. You can do manufacture, do your factor tree, right? 63 is 9 times 7, and then 3 and 3. And there's my numbers that go inside the radical. Circle my set, bring it up front, 3 radical 7 is equal to x, okay? Going down to 39, we have the same concept here as we talked about before, right? That this leg is shorter than this one, so this is the shorter leg of the figure. So we want to draw our chopped out right triangles for ourselves here. So we have x plus 2, which is the short leg. We have this hypotenuse, which is actually x plus 5 or 5 plus x. In the triangle on the left here, remember cutting it to a short. In the long leg, I have 5, which is the long leg, and that's it. In the triangle on the right, I have 2 things. I have a short leg of x, and I have a hypotenuse of x plus 2. So I'm looking at my sets of stuff. This is a quadratic. It's going to be x plus 2 here over x is equal to x plus 5 over x plus 2. We'll cross multiply, which is x plus 2 times itself. And this is equal to x times x plus 5. So we're going to want to distribute right away. X squared. 2x here on the inside and 2x on the outside is going to give us 4x. It's 4. This is x squared plus 5x. And I love this question, and I'll tell you why in a second. Because they both have x squareds on both sides. So as soon as I try to get this equal to 0, those x squareds are going to drop out. So it's really just 4x plus 4 is equal to 5x. I take away the 4x from both sides, and just x is equal to 4. And there's a thing of beauty there. All right. Number 41 is easy to see. We're cutting this into the short leg here and the long leg. All right, which means that this side here, x plus 5, is the long leg in this triangle, short leg on that guy, and the whole length here is x plus 20. So I'm going to drop this down for ourselves. We're going to draw out our 3 right triangles, and we're good to go. X plus 20 hypotenuse. We don't have anything else. We're done with that one. triangle, the medium-sized triangle here. We have a short leg of x plus 5. We have a long leg of 20, which is going on this side, right? Hypotenuse is over here. Short guy is x. Long leg is actually x plus 5. And now we can see that we have these lovely guys paired up. So once again, we have x plus 5 times itself is equal to, whoa, time out, guys. We're not setting the proportions yet, so don't jump ahead of ourselves. X plus 5 over x is equal to 20 over x plus 5. Now we can start cross multiplying. So x plus 5 times itself and x times 20. So we get x squared, 5x on the inside, 5x on the outside is going to be 10x plus 25 is equal to 20x. We move that 20x over. We get x squared minus 10x plus 25 is equal to 0. We do the diamond. 8 times c is 25. The b is negative 10. And then the two numbers we're looking for are both negative 5s. This is once again a double root. I get the same factors both times. So my two solutions are going to be the same. There's actually just one answer then. So we're going to get x equals 5 or x equals 5. And so the answer here is just x equals 5. Hopefully you can see that. All right, guys. If you have any other questions with this type of stuff, feel free to let me know. But that's the homework and the extra credit. All right, guys. Have a good night.